Hey everyone, it's Monday, April 20th, and I want to welcome you all to our snack break today. I'm Jen Stone from Source, and I'm going to give you a quick orientation of the webinar tool before I introduce our guest today. You're muted automatically, but that doesn't mean that we want to be the only ones doing the talking. You all have access to the live chat where you can send a message or questions to the whole group. If you're having any trouble with audio or viewing the presentation, just feel free to check the box to send that message privately. You can just chat now by dropping in your favorite emoji or let us know what you're snacking on. Feel free to chat in questions anytime during the presentation. And if we don't cover them in real time, we'll be sure to cover it during our Q&A at the end of the presentation. Also, the recording of this webinar will be sent to you after we wrap up the live event. So if you missed anything or if you want to share it with a friend, you'll be able to do that. All right, well now I'd like to introduce our guest today, Todd Johnson with Matter Contract. Todd is based in Seattle and is an independent rep. He's going to introduce to us some health-conscious workspace solutions today. So Todd, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I don't know if you have a snack, but I just got my little fig and olive crisps. These are my favorite little guys.
I had a little scoop of peanut butter before I got on here. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
My go-to.
Nice.
Crunchy.
Everyone has a snack. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
yeah,
and I would just maybe kind of go through what my product lines are. So quick look at my line card here. I am the Pacific Northwest rep for Hightower, Buzzy Space, Pedrali, Pear, Prismatique, Nanny Marquina, Cloak, and Luna. And I am based, as Jen said, in Seattle, but I cover the states of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Alaska, and the province of British Columbia. If anybody is from outside of Seattle, I'm here for you. So what I thought I would do, as we're kind of sitting at home, obviously thinking about where we're going to go back into the into offices and what that's going to feel like and look like. What are the products that I represent that that make a lot of sense for putting forward to say, hey, we need to think about distancing is obviously going to be a thing that we're going to be thinking about for a long period of time, I think. And what are the products that can work for relieving those issues, and then what are maybe some surfaces and materials that we can be focused on as well that are easy to clean, that again help with this whole solution. So where I'm really focused on is health conscious finishes, desking solutions, and that can be as simple as a partition to more of an actually enclosed desk, and then room solutions would be things like divider screens, things like that. So let's jump into it as we go into materials. So health conscious finishes. So the first thing that we have on here is our Buzzy Felt. You may know Buzzy Felt because it was kind of what started the Buzzy brand. So this is made out of 100% recycled plastic soda bottles. So it's a great sustainability story already. Buzzy Space is all about acoustics, so you've got that piece as well. But it's plastic, so ultimately it's incredibly durable and it's really easy to clean, to the point where it's actually been approved by Kaiser hospitals nationally. So these are the types of things that we need to be thinking about in the materials that we use in a space. And the felts can be used as simple as something that you put on a wall, or they're used in a vast majority of my Buzzy products as well. One of the other nice things about Buzzy Felt is it is inherently tackable as well. And then as we jump into more of materialities, so other health conscious finishes. So easy one, bleach cleanable fabrics. So here's a look at just a few of my Luna bleach cleanable fabrics. The Metro fabric there is my newest and favorite new introduction. This one comes in 25 different colors. It can be used for upholstery or panel. For $24 a yard, which is just insane. Loja down there in the middle is another one of my favorites. That is, it's bleach cleanable, but it's also an indoor-outdoor fabric as well. And this is just a small sampling. So go to the Source or to Luna to see some of the other bleach cleanable, and of course you can sort on the Source by bleach cleanable, and figure out all the fabrics that would actually fall into this realm. So as we're looking at fabrics and products going forward, remember just kind of the cleanability factor as well. One of the things that you might lose, as I'm thinking of like going into more of a antimicrobial and bleach cleanable, is you might jump into these polys, which are fantastic, but they may not be as tackable as some of these other things. So, as you're thinking about using this on a tackable screen, for example, you wouldn't be able to tack into a poly. So these are some of Luna's polys. As well as the Tech Twist, which is just an amazing upholstery and panel fabric with some great little shimmer to it as well. And Ren's got a question of how to prevent puddling with polys. Puddling is a really good word. Really, it comes to the adhesion of that poly to the foam backing in there. And sometimes, and that's what you would do on a product like this, is that you could also, and then you can also, if it does start to come off, is basically what happens over time, is you can actually use a little bit of a steam iron with like a towel in between, and that will actually readjust the adhesive that's behind that fabric and the foam to actually come together. I had this problem before with some chairs that I had at the University of Washington that were all puddling after like 5 years, and we went in there with a giant commercial steam machine and fixed all of them personally. It was kind of crazy, actually, but it worked. So as we get into desk solutions, we've got some, again, kind of more, the full solution, which would be more of like a hub or a booth. And these come in a variety of different heights, sizes, configurations. These are kind of the most basic, like that Buzzyville. You could have that meandering on for ages and ages. And you could have it with a desk work surface or not. You could add power, different heights. I will say something about Buzzy is that, they've got lots of great options in their internal line, but if you need to do some kind of customization, we can do that as well. Just recently, I had a request on the Buzzyville where they didn't like that little angle there at the bottom of the legs. They wanted to go straight to the floor. Yeah, easy enough. Or, hey, the height, in this conversation that we're having, the height just wasn't as tall as they wanted it to be. We can also look at that as well. Some more, oops. Sorry, I'm used to Zoom and I'm pressing the wrong buttons here. Some more kind of immediate and what I would call more kind of day two solutions are things like all of these desk versions. So these are the front desk, which connects to the front of the desk, or a split that actually can split a desk or a table. That's even a little bit more of a temporary solution because you can actually really easily remove that and put it on a variety of different surfaces. The Buzzy Desk and the Buzzy Desk Wrap that could wrap all the way around just on one side. These can be made out of that same Buzzy felt that we were talking about before, or you can wrap these in fabric as well if you want to. And somebody just asked if this is a presentation that will be something we can share afterwards, and the answer is yes, it is recorded, right, Jen?
Yeah, I just replied, but yeah, everyone will get a recording after in an email. So sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on there, but they'll definitely be able to view it on the website too after.
Some more desk solutions. These are some funny little names. So there is Crostini and Crouton. These are both from Pear. Crouton is another item that can be used on a variety of different types of surfaces because it simply just twists and turns underneath it, and you can pull that off if you need to. And again, it really goes down to, as far as cleanability, the material that you put on there. I should mention that a lot of 100% wools are also naturally antimicrobial, so that could be a really great surface for a panel fabric, or a screen fabric here. So Crostini, Crouton, and you're going to see later in the presentation there's something called toast. So somebody was eating their carbs there when they were pulling these together. And then the Buzzy Cockpit, which is just a really fun application. Literally, you can pick up and move around, and you really create a cockpit environment. So, you can really make sure somebody feels comfortable about that person sneezing in there and not worrying that it's getting on them. And then the desk cross. I was actually just working on a quote for this morning. This is a great example for kind of creating a little corral kind of a space where you kind of split it off, but you're also doing it in that whole, the same felt material, or you can wrap it in fabric as well. And then here are a little bit more these are a little more temporary, I guess, options. So the flip-flop, that are literally those ends flip-flop in order for it to stand up, again, available in a variety of different sizes. And then the focus desk screen from Hightower, which is a really fun. This is almost something like we were attributing this to like a yoga mat, where you can actually roll this up when you're done with it and walk around the space with you. And that's your personal screen from everyone, I guess. So that's the focus screen. And then as you're thinking more larger scale room dividing solutions, we have got a number of things. So Buzzy blinds, that little kind of drawing that you saw before was also an example of the Buzzy blinds. Again, these are made of the Buzzy felt. Again, come in a variety of different heights. And again, something that we've done a lot of customization with. I was just working on a project where they needed to be much higher. So that was an easy thing for them to do. The Buzzy blinds are really simple. Literally, you just by hand turn those and open them as you need them. The Buzzy free are freestanding screens, basically, or the Buzzy screens, which basically you can add end and middle panels and just kind of go as far as you need to, and then those can just be folded up and moved around as you need to. Lots of great options with either the Buzzy felt or with covering it with fabric as well. I'm doing it again, sorry. Some more screen options. So you remember that little smaller focus screen from Hightower? Here is a tall version that you can use. And again, same thing. What makes this kind of roll upable, and that's probably not a great word, is that there's actually an MDF in each one of those ridges, which gives it the strength that it needs to stand up, as well as being able to roll it up as well. Buzzy hood is kind of a great little photo booth option. And then toast. So we talked about the crostini and the crouton before. The toast comes from Pear as well. What's kind of fun about this one is it's 48 by 60 inches in size, but you can actually take those legs off and flip it so that the 60 inches the taller side, and then the 48 inches is the width. So you get a little bit of flexibility with this, and again, you could move it around. All the comments, very fun. And then Buzzy Falls is another great option. Again, using that Buzzy felt in there. You can do this as a solid felt, or you can do it with a variety of cutout digital cuts. You can also do custom cuts on here. You can do it printed with, custom printing, or we have printed felts already as well. And then Buzzy Twist is also using that same Buzzy felt. Some great room dividers. And again, a lot of them very customizable. The Buzzy Falls, we're showing you 3 right there, but you can do a single panel. You can do a lot more panels, and we can easily hang the falls from the ceiling as well, on rails or just from cables. And then as we're thinking of seating options and just kind of creating separation in that way, you've got the Buzzy Hive and the Buzzy Hub and the Buzzy Spark. And these are doing multiple things in a space. So they're obviously creating this kind of separate space, but these are also truly acoustic pieces. So they're actually helping the room as a whole. And I will say too, that is one of the big differences with anything that is Buzzy, is these truly are acoustic pieces that are truly affecting that whole space. And then some other kind of higher back options. So Arlo and also comes in a low back as well as a lounge. If this is the 2-seater, and then there's also a 3-seat version of this. Shelters are really fun, very, very tall back. And then the gimbal is just a great rocking chair. It's actually a rocker as well as a swivel, because it actually has just kind of it's a polypropylene on the bottom of it that allows you to just kind of twirl and twist as you need to. So really great for the fidgeter. And then the Nest Easy versions of this, but the tallest version of this is 60 inches tall. So it's actually pretty substantially high. Again, giving you acoustic benefits both inside it as well as outside of it, as well as that privacy. And then from our friends Pedrali in Italy, these are the Zippo lounge chair that has the ultra high back, as well as the sofa or settee as well. And so with that, we say safe distance plus health conscious finishes equals peace of mind. Any questions that I have not met? So I see a question from Ren. Revit blocks for these products. We do have SketchUp and Revit for most of these products, yes. So yes, so just ask me specifically on those.
Cool. Well, we wrap up. Let us know if you have any other questions. Let's see, one more just popped in. What's the current status of these manufacturers and lead times, Todd?
Great question. So it's a little bit across the board. So overall, Buzzy Space is working both their Belgium facility as well as their High Point, North Carolina facility are both functioning. I wouldn't say 100%, but pretty darn close. And so they are looking at pretty normal lead times at this point. So it's really going to come down to quantity and what the particular product is. Hightower, they are delayed until the end of this month before they can really do anything. So you're probably looking at a few extra weeks delayed at this point. So probably in the 10 to 12 weeks right now, which would be different from their usual 6 to 8. And Pedrali, again, that same kind of situation where they're about 4 weeks behind at this point. So they hope to be back in full production at the beginning of next month. So probably at that point, it'll be about 12 weeks lead time. Who am I missing? Luna is working at full production at this point. A little bit slow getting things out. Yeah. Question is the Buzzy zone sturdy enough to be used in a de-escalation zone in a primary school? I would say, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, just a reminder, while everyone's thinking a copy of this presentation is going to all be sent, will be sent to everybody in an email after we wrap up. And then tomorrow's guest is Filippo Sant'Andrea from Materials Inc. You can go to the events page at tothesource.com to register for those upcoming snack breaks and watch any of the archive videos we have there.
And I should say too is that I am still sneaking into my office to get finished samples and things like that. So if you do any sample requests through the source, I can get those out. Still, it might take me an extra day because I'm not getting in there every day, but I am definitely getting things out. And I'm even arranging where I have to. You know, if I've got to get a chair shipped somewhere, I can do that. Again, it might take a little bit of time.
Everybody, thanks. And I just threw a link out to the blog post that for Hightower, one of Todd's lines that he carries that's on our blog that you can check out if you click that link. So.
That was super fun to do. And the 4 Likes product is a really unique product out there. So check it out, please.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, if there aren't any questions, thanks so much for tuning in. And thank you, Todd. This was great. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Super fun. Perfect now too.
All right, everybody take care. Thanks so much and happy snacking.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.